It starts small. You get a raise at work and without even thinking, you trade in the car that still runs fine for something newer. You start eating at better restaurants, booking better seats on flights. Nothing crazy, just little upgrades. The kind you barely notice. Here's the thing nobody tells you. These tiny upgrades are the most expensive purchases you'll ever make. Because they don't just cost money, they cost momentum. And momentum is the quiet engine that makes people wealthy. I want to tell you about a friend of mine. Let's call him Daniel. Daniel was the kind of person you'd assume had money figured out. Career moving fast, no debt, decent savings. But over the years I watched something happen. Subtle, almost invisible. His old apartment, once comfortable, suddenly felt too small after his promotion. So he upgraded. The rent doubled, but with his new salary it seemed manageable. His perfectly fine clothes suddenly felt cheap compared to the tailored suits his new colleagues wore. The pressure to fit in was subtle but powerful, so he upgraded. Vacations shifted from budget-friendly getaways to long-haul luxury escapes. Each decision made sense in the moment. But here's the dangerous part. He never felt richer even though his income had doubled. The extra money vanished. In fact, he felt just as financially stretched as before. That's lifestyle creep. It's quiet, it's polite, it never storms the gates of your bank account, it just lets itself in, one, you deserve this at a time. If you've ever wondered why making more money hasn't made your life feel more secure, or if you've hit a higher income and still find yourself stressing over bills, you might be living with a financial parasite you didn't even know existed. Lifestyle creep is dangerous because it hides behind good news. A raise, a bonus, a new client. Think of your wealth like a snowball. At first it's small, but every extra dollar you don't spend packs onto it, making it bigger, heavier, and faster until it's unstoppable. But lifestyle creep is like the sun, subtly warming the snow. It constantly melts your financial snowball, drop by drop before it ever has the chance to gain significant size. The scariest part? This process is so gradual that you won't notice the melting until you look back and realize the snowball never actually got any bigger. Now you might be thinking, okay, but if I can afford nicer things, why not enjoy them? It's a fair question that deserves a clear answer. Here's the problem. The math of wealth isn't about what you can afford, it's about how much you can keep. And lifestyle creep does something overspending doesn't. It locks in higher expenses as your new normal, which means the freedom you thought that raise would buy disappears. See, most people will cheer you on when you upgrade your life. New house? Congrats. Luxury vacation? You've earned it. But here's the truth wealthy people know. Real financial power isn't about spending more when you make more, it's about not changing your lifestyle when you could. That's stealth wealth. That's the invisible game that actually makes you rich. I've been on both sides of this. I felt the thrill of buying something just because my income allowed it. And I felt the quiet satisfaction of letting that money sit, grow, and give me options my past self couldn't imagine. The difference? One path gave me a quick rush and then disappeared. The other gave me freedom that keeps compounding. The cruel joke about lifestyle creep is that it's a one-way ratchet. Once you normalize a higher standard of living, it's brutally hard to go backwards. It's not just about giving up the fancy coffee, it's about what that coffee represents. It feels like a personal failure, a step down in the world's eyes, even if no one is watching. You're not just downgrading your car, you're downgrading a piece of your identity. And that's how good people, smart people, get trapped. They make enough to be free, but their expenses, now tied to their self-worth, quietly chain them to their paycheck. What if, the next time you got a raise, you did nothing? No upgrades, no splurges. Just let the money pile up untouched, creating a buffer between you and the world. Feels almost unnatural, right? Like you're breaking an unwritten rule. That's because in a world obsessed with showing success, living below your means isn't just a financial move. It's an act of quiet rebellion against the idea that your worth is measured by what you can afford to display. I'll be honest, I didn't just spot lifestyle creep in other people. I lived it. That's when it started. Little upgrades I convinced myself were harmless. A better coffee machine. A new phone even though mine worked fine, but over time my expenses crept up so quietly that my savings rate dropped in half. It was like I'd been walking up a hill with money in my backpack and one day, someone started cutting a hole in the bottom. But then, something happened that changed everything. I stumbled across a Japanese budgeting philosophy called Kakeibo. It's over a century old and it's not about apps or spreadsheets, it's about awareness. The physical act of writing forces a pause, a moment of mindfulness that a quick tap on a screen just can't replicate. Every month you write down not just what you spend, but why you spend it. And here's the twist. You ask yourself before each purchase, will this truly make my life richer, or is it just a fleeting desire? This simple question recalibrates your entire relationship with money. It's like Scandinavian minimalism meets financial discipline. In Sweden, there's a concept called Lagom, not too little, not too much, just enough. It's a philosophy of contentment, of finding the perfect, sustainable balance. It's about resisting the urge to overshoot enough just because you can. Lifestyle creep is the opposite of Lagom. It's the endless pursuit of more at the expense of enough. When was the last time you bought something that made you just as happy a year later? The data's brutal. Studies show that in most cases the happiness boost from a purchase fades within 3 months. Yet the cost, if it's baked into your lifestyle, keeps draining you month after month. It's like signing a lifelong gym membership for a place you stop going to after week 6. I once heard someone describe lifestyle creep as planting ivy around your house. At first it's charming, green, vibrant, fresh. But if you don't control it, it grows over your windows, into your bricks, weakening the very structure it clings to. The tricky part, everyone passing by still thinks it looks beautiful. That's why stealth wealth is so powerful. It's the opposite of that ivy. It's pruning your life intentionally so that the foundation, the financial security underneath, can grow strong without being smothered. In a second, I'm going to tell you the question I now ask myself every time I'm tempted to upgrade something, whether it's a car, a vacation, or even the brand of olive oil I buy. But before I do, I want you to picture something. Imagine your future self, 10 years from now. You've got 2 versions of you standing side by side. Which one looks freer? Which one can take a year off without panic? Which one's kids never have to take on student loans? I learned this the hard way. But once you see lifestyle creep for what it is, you can't unsee it. So, what's that question I promised you? It's this. If I didn't have this extra money, would I still want to make this upgrade? The beauty of that question is it forces you to step outside the excitement of having more and look at the choice from your old, humbler perspective. When I started asking myself that, something surprising happened. Not only did my savings rate shoot back up, but I started enjoying the things I already owned more. My old car became a badge of independence, not a sign I was falling behind. It reminded me of Daniel, the friend I told you about earlier. A few years after his lifestyle upgrades, he hit a financial wall. Not a disaster, but a moment of clarity. He scaled back, sold the luxury car, moved into a smaller place, and you know what? He told me something I'll never forget. I thought I'd feel embarrassed going backwards, but it just feels like coming home. That's the irony of lifestyle creep. You think you're moving forward when you're really just trading freedom for fancier scenery. If you take one thing from this, let it be this. Wealth is built in the space between what you earn and what you need. The wider that space, the faster your freedom grows. The world will keep telling you to upgrade. Your bank balance will whisper that you can afford it. But freedom doesn't come from the things you add. It comes from the things you resist. Here's what I want you to do today. Pick one expense in your life that's crept up quietly, your streaming services, your daily coffee run, your phone plan, and roll it back to the simpler version. Watch how quickly that extra stops feeling like a downgrade and starts feeling like breathing room. If this whispered truth spoke to you, join me here, quietly. And tell me, what's one quiet money habit that's changed your life? Share it below. I read every single one. Your wealth doesn't need applause, just proof. Start building.